Hi everyone, my name is Akin Oduwole. I work for Technology Global Services Limited as the Managing Director and been into printing for the past 20 years. Started from the very grassroots. Our idea is to give some information that will help you make decision-making process easier. And today's episode, we're going to be looking at top 10 mistakes that people make when they come into the printing business. In our opinion, the first mistake is not having a clearly defined mission. Printing, you should understand, is very capital intensive. And because it is capital intensive, you need to know what sector of printing you want to go into. You can't do everything. So it's important to stick to one and then have a plan of growth. And how do you solve this problem? You need to consult people who know, so that they can guide you appropriately. The second problem I see is that of budget. Many times, you're not willing to disclose how much you want to spend on your printing project because you think that your supplier wants to work from the answer to the question. But most of the time, when they're asking you what your budget is, it's so that they can see which sector or which kind of printing your budget can always accommodate. So be honest with your budget. In printing, you can start slowly and then grow it. You can start and then the needs will begin to help you grow. And what do I mean? So if you start with offset printing without the finishing, you can begin to start with offset printing and observe which kind of job comes. And that will determine what kind of finishing you will buy in 5 years. So the third mistake we see that people make when they want to come into printing is that of choosing the right equipment. That is a very serious mistake. If you make that mistake, then at the end of the day, you've lost money, you've lost time, and you will definitely get discouraged with the printing business. So I will always advise that before you buy an equipment, you need to consult with those who are using the kind of equipment, check out YouTube, check out testimonials, check out blogs that talk about the equipment you're going to buy, and then make the right decision. My question many times when it comes to equipment is, can I cope with it when it becomes obsolete? Because you must also understand that printing is very dynamic and it's changing fast. It's changing every 4 years because we have what we call the biggest printing exhibition, Drupa, every 4 years. And every supplier is in a hurry to produce something to show in 4 years. So my question always is, how can you cope if you discover that the equipment you bought is now obsolete in another 4 years? This is why you need to think about which technology you're going to go into before going into it. Mistake number 4 is after-sales support. Do you have a company that can take care of your support? Because we don't want you running after making sure the machine runs and at the same time running after getting the jobs. We want you to concentrate on getting the jobs and feel that on the machine. But let another company that is competent take over your after-sales support. And I always say that to check out who is going to support your company, check out if they've got the right training. Factory-trained engineers are always the best to take care of your after-sales support because then they have been to the factory and they know why the manufacturer has made the equipment the way it has been made. So that when the problems are there and they can't even resolve it, they have an escalation process. They can talk to someone in the factory who knows how the equipment is made. So the fifth mistake people make is they think they can do everything in printing. Jack of all trades in printing is master of nothing. You need to specialize. You need to choose an aspect and stay true to it. And then plan to expand once you become an expert in that field. Mistake people make is they want to start small in some sectors. In some printing sectors, there's nothing like starting small. If you want to go into this flexo gravure, I don't see how you're going to start small, because your target market is the multinationals. Your target market is the big companies producing millions every day. So there is no way you will go into that sector as a small player. But again, the amount of money required will help us know what kind of business you can start in the printing sector. So number 7 mistake some people make in printing is that they don't have trained manpower. I always say printing is technical. You need people who know what they're doing to man an equipment. So imagine you spend millions of Naira buying an equipment. And as they say, if you put a monkey on the job, you get monkey outputs. So there is a need to always train your manpower. And the solution to this is to work with suppliers who can help with training, to make sure that those manning the equipment are well informed on what to do and what not to do, and have the tips on how to make the equipment give the best efficiency that it can provide at a specific time. Number 8 mistake people make is they don't have a network. So people is very important. Printing has a wide value chain. So there is a need to explore the network. Who is your supplier? If your supplier is sick, can anyone jump into that space? Who can help you with your after-sales repairs? Who can help you with spare parts? Who can help you with making sure that your processes are calibrated, your processes are in line with the proper printing regulations? So you need a network of people to work with. And in this case, it's very important to also make sure that this network is in place. Otherwise, it will be a mistake that will cost you losing money. Number 9 mistake is that people do not have staying power. There's a need to understand that printing requires a process, and the learning curve is quite steep. So you need to go through the learning curve. And in that period, you might not be making the kind of money you have projected, but you need to keep at it. You need to stay on it. People exit before they become known, before their business gets into maturity. And the reason they do this is because they don't realize that you need some staying power, because the processes are vast and you need to know everything about the process. Number 10 mistake that people make is that they lack a proper exit plan. They don't have an exit plan. And in printing business, you should know when to stop. If your machine has become too obsolete and your competition has an advantage, there is no point going on. There's a need to relaunch. There's a need to reinvest. And at that point, if you don't get out, you start to lose money. I hope this point will make some sense to you today. But anytime you need to get some further clarification, we will always be available. Thank you, and keep printing to make money. Have a nice day.